Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It comes to you live from the outskirts of the internet. It's the Gaming Saloon for January 26, 2025. With your host, Peacebreaker2448, and Ramp It Up Salon.
Hi.
It is certainly a week.
Yeah.
Love is just like, well, we've got the Switch 2 revealed. We've basically said everything we wanted to about it. And then the Xbox did a direct, and it's like, well, this was nice enough. We certainly are waiting for that Switch 2 direct in April, aren't we?
Yep.
At this point.
Yep, most definitely.
But yeah, we've got that and some other stuff to talk about. But first, tell me, what have you been playing the last couple weeks?
Not really a whole lot.
I finished up Lego Batman for retro achievements. Because I'll say this in contrast, because I also tried Lego Marvel Superheroes, the first like Lego Marvel game, and it's I guess like besides Skywalker Saga, it's my first foray into how modern Lego is done. I think I prefer how the classic ones are done, kind of. I think I prefer okay, Lego Marvel Superheroes had good levels. I just wish there was a better connectivity between them besides, well, you're back out in the open world, go to the next level, and then you just go to the next level. I wish I could just go back to the hub and just explore around the hub, because I can't really do that in Lego Marvel Superheroes where I'm at. Whereas in Lego Batman, I have the Batcave and Arkham Asylum as two separate hubs that I go back to for levels. I just prefer that, to be perfectly honest. Maybe I'm just old. I think it also helps that like Lego Batman levels were shorter, and I kind of like that. Because like Skywalker Saga, I felt like the levels were way too long. Marvel Superheroes was edging on being a bit too long, but they seemed fine enough. I don't know, maybe I'll try Lego Marvel some more and see if it's better. How I have to play it is a bit through other means. Needless to say, I had to get PS3 emulation up and running, and you can take it from there. Even though I think all three Lego Marvels are in like a collection for like $20 or something.
I think so. But you
feel like
you had PS3 emulation running. Now I've got a thought about trying to do the thing that I was going to potentially throw down the road. So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get mine set up first.
Yeah, it was super easy, simple to get set up. As usual, getting emulators up and running, easy enough. Getting stuff to work on those emulators, that's where things get tricky, because like Lego Marvel Superheroes it runs like perfectly like 90% of the time, and then has the occasional like hiccup and problematic stuff that's like, yeah. Oh no, the collection, at least the collection on Steam, is actually $60. But all three games are like $20 a piece, basically. And they come with all their assortment DLC for everything. Which, neat. It basically is half off if you buy the collection.
Pretty much, yeah.
Besides that, I guess because it was on clearance for like $25, my mom got 2 of the Atari 50th anniversary video computer system My Arcade little GBA things. Basically, it's got like 100 Atari games loaded onto it. It runs well enough. The only downside is it's 100 Atari games, and it's like most of the ones that are probably like made by Atari, and then stuff you don't know. So I'm like, this would be perfect for kids. But then I'm like, wait, it's a bunch of Atari games. A lot of them sucks. Because we were figuring out how to make video games at the time.
Yeah.
So some of them are not good. But otherwise, it's decently sized. It's got a nice screen. It's about like the size of a GBA. If not, maybe a little bit bigger. The D-pad's nice. You got a B and an A. You got a start select. You got a power. You got a home button because it has a home menu that you go through the games with. It has a dimmer. It has a difficulty select button for some reason. I don't know what that's for. But I just messed with that a little bit.
More difficult.
Oh god, no! You do not need to make some Atari games more difficult than they already are. I will say, I'm kind of glad I didn't see Pac-Man on there, because I know Atari Pac-Man is dog shit. There's also no ET on there, so I actually don't think there's anything licensed on there.
Probably not.
Let's see. Besides that, I guess adjacent to me going through Lego games, I found a program with Bricklink, which is like a big database of Lego parts and sets and minifigures and all that. They have a program that lets you build Lego kits inside of them. So I've been building a Batcave on the side every now and again when I feel the desire, because I think it's because I'm waiting for the Ridercraft mod to update so I can do more stuff. And they also just also the Sentai Craft mod is now updated for the same version as the Ridercraft mod, or the same game version now. So you can have both Ridercraft and Sentai Craft in the same world now. It's very limited. There's only like, I think, 6 shows in there. But it's still formatted just like the Ridercraft is. So you have like helmet, chest, legs, more fur basically. But I believe it's all ore based. And I think you have to go to like a subworld to mine the ore, I think. I'm not entirely sure how it works. I was just setting up a additional building for the Sentai stuff in my world. And quickly realizing, oh god, I'm not sure how to format this because I don't know what all will be per team. Because they're already throwing in some obscure stuff that I know about. But I'm like, no, this has to go here. This has to go here. Shit.
You're probably going to have to wind up making a floor for like 1 or 2 shows at a
Well, I have a format for teams. So I have a 5-team format, a 16 format, and then basically a 17 format. And I think I can get about 4, granted, early on, it's about 4 to, I think maybe, no, more than that, probably. Maybe like 6 or 7 shows per floor. Bear in mind, we're early on. We're not to Q Ranger with its fucking 12 and Deca Ranger with its 10. We're not to that level yet. Because they're not in there. But oh boy, am I gonna have to figure that out. I'm like, maybe I wait, like, because they have basically this batch is like phase 1 for them. Maybe I'll wait like till phase 2 or 3 and then really start putting stuff in there. At the very least, I have the building there. I just have to fill it out and make it lag even more, because boy, does Minecraft not like having like 20 million armors on stance.
I wouldn't know why.
I don't know why it causes lag.
It could be any reason. Could be that you're trying to fully display countless player models, because I have a funny feeling that's probably about the same way.
Yeah. It is a lot of stuff. But yeah, besides that, not much else besides like chipping away at Star Rail and Zenless update stuff for the last like couple weeks or so, since Star Rail put out its big 3.0 update. Zenless put out its 1.6 update. I've got story content done for both of them. It's now just logging in, doing event stuff, piling resources for if I want to pull for a character. Yeah, that is basically it. Shall we get to the news?
I guess we shall.
Phil Spencer decided to talk about how Xbox games will become multi-platform.
Because, of course, they will.
So, the quote here. We love our platform and our hardware, but we're not going to put walls up where people can engage with the great games our studios are building. Our games will show up in more places, no doubt. On why buy an Xbox? I want people to pick hardware based on the capabilities of the hardware and the choices that they want to make about where they want to play. We want our hardware to win based on the capabilities that we have, hardware critical and fundamental to what Xbox is, not trying to gatekeep the games of different places. Or games off different places. So basically, you don't want to sell a box anymore.
That's what you were hearing too. Okay.
Yep. Because that's what Microsoft is basically doing at this point. Is they're basically transitioning from a first party console maker to a third party publisher and developer. Because the Xboxes are not selling. The choice of doing the Series X and the Series S at the same time hampers developers and developing on their platforms. Because if you're going to launch on the Series X, you have to launch on the Series S, and the Series S is such a downgrade from the X, it causes problems for developers. It's basically like, okay, we are basically Game Pass now, even though Game Pass is hurting us, because that is the corner we have backed ourselves into. I do love the articles like, perhaps Fable will come out this year, and I'm like, if it makes it out the door, it will not be good. I can almost guarantee that. People keep forgetting who's making that Fable and how long that Fable's been in development. That game is not going to come out good. But yeah, any other thoughts on Microsoft basically going, we're tired of making boxes?
No.
All right, then. A bit of an interesting thing with Marvel Rivals. You know how a while back we talked about different characters coming to Marvel Rivals?
Yeah.
So about that list, apparently some of the characters in that list are not real characters at the current moment. So NetEase has apparently been putting dummy files into the code in order to trip up leakers, because some characters are not real. And leakers have now found out, oh fuck, that's wrong.
Huh.
Yep. In fact, if you give me 1 second, I have to... I don't know if the article has like a list. No. So basically, characters such as Crystal, Quicksilver, Cyclops, Professor X, Colossus, Gambit, Rogue, Nightcrawler, Jubilee, those were fake characters. Those were fake files. In order to trip up leakers. The characters that are still real are like the Fantastic Four, Ultron, Blade, Jean, Emma, and such. So leakers are now going to have to be extra careful and data mining, basically, because they can get goofed. I'll also say this doesn't exclude those characters from ever happening. It's just right now there probably isn't no plans for them. But any thoughts on NetEase juking people out?
I mean, on one hand, I'm like, that's good that someone's finally understanding how this is getting done. The other hand is like, okay, so now you have created a cipher that people are gonna figure out, and you can't do that a second time, so it really isn't gonna help you in the long run.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for one of those fake characters to actually be a real character and then really fuck with people. It's like, wait a minute, fuck, shit, no, oh no. They're mix matching them now. Next up, TCG Pocket announced their next expansion in terms of cards coming out. It is called Space Time Smackdown. It'll be available Wednesday. It is a purely Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Gen 4 basically focus set. I'm pretty sure it's 141 cards. Let me double check real quick. 140 is the approximate number of cards that will be added with this set. No other real word besides this will also come along with a trade update. You can trade with your friends. You do require a resource to spend to trade. You can only trade 1 to 4 rarity diamond cards and then 1 star rarity cards. So basically your basic cards and then the lowest rarity alt arts that exist. So you can't trade for like the big fancy alt arts. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to pull for new cards. I'm enjoying TCG Pocket just as a pull cards and collect them system, not necessarily the battle stuff that's on the side.
Man, fair.
Any other thoughts?
No.
All right, then. Final Fantasy Remake Part 3 is apparently 9 months in development. It will not be next-gen exclusive. So a report came out talking about that from director Naoki Hamaguchi.
Except give it by the end of the year, it'll be next gen exclusive.
Eventually. But yeah, they were just explaining that part 3 is progressing along. I don't think they gave a specific time frame of when to expect it. Seems like they are going to try to push multi-platform on it from this quick quote at the bottom. Which makes sense. I know Rebirth sales were really hurt because it was basically PS5 exclusive. And it didn't really hit its sales targets until it got to PC. Potentially. I think it only came to PC in the last like week. But yeah, that's basically it. Any other thoughts?
No.
All right. A bit of surprising news. Insomniac CEO Ted Price is stepping down and retiring. 30 years. basically being the one to be the CEO of Insomniac since it began. He is now stepping down. Chad Derson, Ryan Schneider, and John Hung will be stepping up as co-studio heads when he steps down in March, I believe. So yeah, Insomniac is shifting leadership. How do you feel? Fair.
Because it's one of those you won't know until it happens how it's going to turn out.
Yeah. I do hope for the best because Insomniac is near and dear to my heart as a developer. I know Spider-Man 2 was a in terms of like its ballooned budget and sales numbers and the like. But I'm pretty sure they cut a lot of content on the back end of that one in terms of DLC and stuff. So hopefully Insomniac is gonna go do good going forward. Hopefully they can get Wolverine out the door at some point. But any other thoughts?
Nah.
All right, then. We talked about this a bunch when it, like the stream after it was revealed. But the Switch 2 is here. It has magnetic Joy-Cons. It's bigger. It's backwards compatible. Asterisks. It's black with color inserts.
Because reasons.
I did see someone of like, I hope those Joy-Cons come in color, and I'm like, I'm sure they will. Because I have a launch Switch and it is black and gray. And I know that's not the default colors for Switch. I'm sure there will be a nice colorful version for those who want a colorful Switch too.
I'm sure the Joy-Cons will have color at some point.
Yeah. God, I'm sure they will make a nice rainbow of them and all sorts of special versions as well, because that's exactly how.
Just wait on Splatoon to come out with, or for them to have Splatoon 4, and then there you go.
Yeah, whatever their primary colors for that one are.
Yep.
Not much else besides a first look at Mario Kart 9, Mario Kart insert whatever subtitle it will be. Presumably 24 players, few new characters, some new karts, a new track. Feels very Mario Kart Tour in design.
Looks like in my opinion.
Yeah, it's probably running the same engine and assets from 8, just touched up to look better. Not much else. Oh, a Nintendo Direct will be April 2nd. And it will be a Switch 2 Direct. So we're basically waiting on the big chunk of Switch 2 information for April, which some people are not happy about. And I go, boo-hoo. I think I'm more annoyed at the people who look at the Switch 2 and go, where's the gimmicks? Where's the stupid, dumb bullshit gimmicks? And I go, you people will bitch and moan about the stupid, dumb bullshit gimmicks that get bolted onto every single other Nintendo console. And now that Nintendo, for once, decides to do just a straight upgrade of a console, now you complain that there's no gimmicks.
But you know what's bad?
What?
I have to think that this possibly is going to sour the taste in some of the shareholders too.
I mean, it already did. The stock price went down.
Yeah,
after the Switch 2 reveal.
Yeah, because Nintendo decided to say they were going to announce the Switch 2 by the end of first quarter this year. A teaser is not an announcement.
I believe stock prices have returned to normal since then.
Yeah, but it's because of that right there. That was making a point. And I have a funny feeling that's going to hurt them going forward. Because they're not going to honor what they said.
Yeah, we talked about this before, but you've pointed out that it feels like they've took a stumble out the gate on the Switch 2 reveal for a variety of reasons.
This to me feels like an immediate clapback to the internet having all kinds of leaks and speculations for it. Where every bit of this teaser just felt like Nintendo saying, yeah, everything you've read, that's right. We're showing you. They didn't give anything new. It just literally felt like it was a clapback at that. And to be fair, this teaser was kind of reactive.
Yeah.
We heard nothing about a direct, and then they dropped the teaser. This was reactive.
I knew this was going to happen because I checked my Game Leaks Reddit thread, and someone in UK was like, "Oh, it will be at this time," like several hours beforehand, and then, oh look, at that hour, there's the reveal. But that was like late that night, because everybody, even though there was no like 24 hours notice, doubled down on the reveal being that day. Everyone. There was not a soul that was not confident that it's like, no, the Switch 2 is going to be revealed this day. We promise.
But it was a clapback. That's all that was from Nintendo.
Yeah.
And in the business world, shareholders don't really take kindly to that.
Oh, they don't like petty bullshit?
Yeah.
I thought that's all shareholders are all about, is petty bullshit.
Oh, when they stir it up. That's why I'm like, this literally just felt like that moment in school where someone's like, yeah, my dad does XYZ, and then the other one's like, yeah, no, he don't. This is what he does. That's exactly how this kind of felt like. And it's one of those, it's like, we could have handled that a little bit better. Just a little bit.
I feel like, and this is a bit of hope, to be perfectly honest, I think the Direct is going to hit it home.
At this point, they've put all of their eggs in the basket. They have to hope it does. At this point. We're going to, and I hate putting it on the spot, we're going to have to see big hitters. We're going to have to see more from this Mario Kart. We're going to probably have to see some kind of Zelda remake. Regardless of 2D, 3D, whatever. We're probably going to have to actually see something from Prime 4 with a definitive, this is when it's coming out. If they can't provide with those and something else, then I don't think it's going to actually hit as hard.
Yeah.
They have now set themselves up, especially after this teaser, where they have to hit the first year for the Switch 2 out of the park, or it's gonna fail.
I'm willing to call my shot in that the Direct 2 is going to be formatted where they're going to open with the new Mario Kart, since they ended this teaser with it. They're going to open with the new Mario Kart, show it off. They'll do their usual, like, here's your little mini announcements and stuff. Or their headlines, I think is what they call it. They're little interspersed segments from their bigger stuff.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do a couple of those in between bigger stuff. So you'll get like a segment of that. Then it will end like with a Prime 4 or a Zelda.
It won't. The direct will not end with Prime 4. That
No.
I will guarantee.
No, I'm saying one of the headline segments will end with Prime 4.
Okay.
As like, and then you'll get another segment of headline segments, and then you'll get like a big thing, and like the thing to properly end the direct will probably be a Mario of some variety. Whatever the Martin will be, it will be a Martin.
I will only disagree with you on one thing. Everyone knows there's a 3D Mario gonna come out. There's always a 3D Mario on a new console. That's been that way since the 64. That's not as big of a surprise. That actually will probably be one middle one.
Mm-hmm.
That probably will be, like you said, open with Mario Kart, do a few indie or third-party games, Prime 4, probably proper Switch 2 reveal, with whatever throwaway gimmicky game they're going to have at the beginning.
Whatever uses the Joy-Cons that function as mice, basically.
Yeah. In other words, the Switch 2's version of 1-2 Switch kind of deal.
Yeah.
We're probably going to see those wrapped together. Then probably going to see something like the 3D Mario coming straight out of that. It's probably going to end with something that people aren't expecting.
Yeah.
It's going to have another third-party group, and then it'll have whatever their unexpected one is.
It won't happen this way.
Oddly enough, I feel like it would probably be one of the Wii U Zelda HDs. Just because everyone's been asking about it and nothing has ever been said.
Mm-hmm.
At least with Prime 4, when everyone was wanting it, it's a case of, no, we knew they were working on it. It's coming. It would either be something like that, or I think I know what you're thinking, because that's the exact thought that my brain's going in. It's going to be one of the forgotten franchises. It's either going to be Star Fox or F-Zero or something big that has a fan base that's going to stir up everything.
I wasn't going to say that, actually.
Really?
No. Because I know something that will really not happen besides those.
Because a new Star Fox game totally is not going to happen. We all know that.
I was going to say the last reveal would be for whatever Monolith Soft is working on. Because they're not going to put all that on Monolith Soft. Like, Monolith Soft doesn't do enough money for them to get the last spot.
No.
My heart wishes they would, because Monolith Soft deserves more love for the work they do.
But I think it's going to be something that everyone's forgotten about.
Mm-hmm.
It's either going to be an HD remake that people aren't expecting. Either Wind Waker or Twilight Princess bringing it up to the Switch 2, or I actually saw something that kind of would make sense. The Oracle games being brought into the Link's Awakening engine.
Yeah. Because don't they share assets? The originals, don't they share assets in a lot of respects?
Yeah. So, I mean, it wouldn't be far-fetched to think that. But I saw that and I'm like, you know, actually, yeah, that could be the surprise thing. Something no one's expecting, but people would enjoy. The real odd thing would be if we got, similar to Prime 4, something like that with just a teaser of the title for like a Star Fox or an F-Zero game. We wouldn't have any gameplay or anything, but it would be enough to start drumming up the hype and see what's there.
After everything with Prime 4, I think Nintendo would not do that unless they are super confident the game is going to come out very soon. and they could really show people that. Otherwise, it's going to draw direct comparisons to Prime 4. Not necessarily the game itself, but all the hoopla around that game.
I think they would gamble it again though, because the thing with Prime was it was always contracted out.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with Star Fox and F-Zero is it's usually not. It's usually something they have a little more hands-on control with, and could pull it to one of their other studios.
I was about to suggest the...
I think they would gamble it again if it was one of those two. I don't think we would ever see them, if a Prime 5 ever is a thing, I don't think they would do that with it. Mm-hmm. Just because of all of this. I do agree with you on that.
I was going to suggest the over-under on Pokemon showing up, but then I was like, when is Pokemon Day? February 27th. It will probably be mentioned, but the bulk of A to Z's reveal is going to be on Pokemon Day.
Yeah.
Like, it will...
The only major shuffle I could see that would maybe justify Prime 4 being the end of it, instead of being in the middle, would be if they were going to do the Prime Trilogy. Mm-hmm. As a shadow drop release kind of deal.
Yeah.
Because they would do it that way, but outside of that, no, I think Prime 4 is sitting dead center of it.
Yeah. Granted, everything I've read recently about Prime Trilogy has suggested that, like, Prime 2 and 3 are not happening because Prime 4 getting shifted to Retro basically put the two of those on the back burner hard in favor of getting Prime 4 out the door.
Yes and no, because I saw something saying much like what we saw with Prime, same amount of time before Prime was shadow dropped. Prime 2 technically is ready.
Yeah.
Meaning they could do Prime 2 shadow drop at the very least. Mm-hmm. We'll probably never see the full trilogy, I have a feeling.
Which might be fine, because I didn't care for 3.
I didn't either.
And 2, I think the only thing I didn't care for 2 was the bosses.
Yeah.
Like, some of the bosses were terrible decisions in 2.
Too many bosses in 2 is where the problem, I think, really lies.
I think a Morphle Maze boss is a neat idea, but it is terribly executed in 2.
I think they had decent boss ideas, but they shouldn't have been full bosses. They should have been mini bosses kind of deal.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem came in. 3 relies too heavy on the motion control gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something I kind of wonder how that would translate for the Switch kind of deal.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, what would be the biggest curveball in the world that they could throw? Like, what would shock even the people with insider knowledge?
That's a good question. Because, you know, I would normally want to kind of revert to saying, you know, well, maybe a Yoshi game. Except for we were rumored to have had one for the Switch. So if people actually are thinking about it, that's still a potential for the Switch too.
Yeah. I think the only thing that are coming to my head are like, oh, these would be, and I'm like, no, these are just things I want.
I mean, like, can I maybe another Smash would probably be something that would kind of throw people off.
Sakurai has worked on something for several years now. And I have a feeling because of how the timeline is, he says the timeline is in terms of him working on whatever he's working on. It's a launch Switch 2 title, or at least a year 1 Switch 2 title. because it should be far along in development to like hit that mark.
But at the same time, that could be a Kirby.
It could be a Kirby. It could be the fact that he banged on about Kid Icarus Uprising a couple different times. It's like Kid Icarus Uprising is finally getting ported. Grant, I don't know how many people will be excited for Kid Icarus Uprising being on a proper platform that you could play it on.
I just can't think of where else Smash would go, is why I'm like, maybe a Smash one?
Smash Muso? Again, that's something I want.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people would be like, Smash Muso? Because I'm like, I know people adore Hyrule Warriors 1. Hyrule Warriors 2, I think some people weren't the biggest fans of it. I guess because it was just Age of Calamity focus instead of a crossover.
Yeah.
And like, I remember hearing somebody in a stream I was watching prefer Fire Emblem Warriors 1 to 2 because it had crossover stuff, and I'm like, no, 2 is a vast improvement over 1 mechanically. Even if 2 is just 3 houses focus, 1's barely a crossover of Fire Emblem games because it's only crossovers like 3 of them.
But
properly.
But right there might be the same thing. The second one focuses too hard on tying into a certain game kind of deal.
Right, but also Fire Emblem Warriors 1, the crossover was only of the last 3 Fire Emblem games before it released.
But still, that's a better crossover than just only focused on one game.
I mean, fair if you're judging a Muso game on that, but I'm like, no, Fire Emblem Warriors 2 is just a superior game, outright.
What I wish they would have done with Hyrule Warriors, and would have worked better, instead of doing the second one focused on Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom stuff, why didn't we, come up with another story that kind of built off of what the first game did?
Yeah. Even though I do like Age of Calamity for what it did.
But I mean, really, did it do anything?
It was a nice little, like, what if story. I liked that part.
Okay. That completely, due to Tears of the Kingdom's shenanigans, gets written completely out.
Fair.
Hence why I'm like, did it really do anything? It's kind of just sitting off on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all that work kind of feels like that sucks.
Yeah, especially when the Zelda timeline doesn't acknowledge it. Granted, it doesn't acknowledge Hyrule Warriors 1 fucking anyway.
It doesn't acknowledge either one. But from a canonical standpoint, you could say that Hyrule Warriors takes place at the end of all timelines.
Yeah.
Because of the way that it is designed.
Mm-hmm.
It's outside of time. Which, would work. And you could have other stories leading off of that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, can't do that.
Okay, how about a Zelda game, but Linkle is the lead?
Never happened.
I know. We just barely got a Zelda where Zelda is the lead officially, even though we had that before twice with CDI games, but those don't count.
Those don't count.
According to Nintendo.
According to the timeline, according to Nintendo, according to people that have played them.
God, even if I say new Fire Emblem, I'm like, I don't know.
I don't think a Fire Emblem game would really be enough to generate enough hype to take the last spot.
No, especially because I don't think Engage went over that well with a lot of people. Even though it was basically an anniversary game.
that's why I'm kind of thinking, okay, if it is Prime 4, then we're gonna have to have a shadow drop of something.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have to. There's no way around that. That's the only way it's gonna take the last spot, because we've even already gotten gameplay footage of it.
Yeah.
The only thing we really lack is a date.
Yeah. I know the talk forever from the one person I follow for Xeno stuff is Monolith is apparently going to remake Xenosaga. I don't think that's enough for a finale. It'd be like, here's Xenosaga again, because most people are gonna be like, Xeno what now? I know Xenoblade. What the fuck's Xenosaga? This is a PS2 game. This is what they made before Xenoblade? Okay.
And so
I
say there's so much of that even. That's why I'm like, Nintendo's really got to figure out how to hit that out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
Because sure, you could throw Mario as the last one. We all know there's going to be a 3D Mario though.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not really a big hook. The only thing I might could think of in terms of, but I really don't even want to say that, because the way the two Zelda games we've gotten for the Switch has turned out, would be open world. Doing an entire open world Mario.
How would an open world?
We almost touched that with Odyssey.
Isn't the 3D World DLC open world to some extent?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, how would a Mario open world game even work? Like,
it's still linear, but it's more open kind of deal.
Yeah.
But that's one of those, I'm like, honestly, in light of seeing how Zelda did and how everyone else that has followed with big franchises do, I really don't want them to do a Mario that's full open world.
I don't think Mario would translate well, because Mario is all about platforming challenges and that, and like Odyssey worked well enough where it feels like, okay, you have this big open area to explore, but getting moons are all of these like small to medium to large platforming challenges and other such stuff to get there. And I don't think you can make a bigger version of that.
That's why I'm like, I really wouldn't want to see that, but I could see that being a hook at least. And the only reason that I think that that's probably going to be what we'll see for the 3D Mario is, what did Sega just do with Sonic?
Oh, Sonic Lost World.
Frontiers.
Oh, yeah, Frontiers. Why did I say Lost World?
Lost World is Galaxy.
That was good. That was going to be my suggestion of before you started, was like Galaxy 3.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
They would have done it on the Wii U if they were going to do it.
Mm-hmm. I also feel like the end can't be like something saying that there's something third party on their platform. Like, it's not going to end with like, here's Halo or here's fucking Spider-Man or whatever.
You know, though, it like could. It could, just to drive home that the Switch 2 is more powerful.
I could see a headline that's just like, the Master Chief Collection is out for Switch 2 now, or be out for Switch 2 at launch.
I don't think it would be a single game if they were gonna do that.
Yeah.
I think it'd be 2 or 3 kind of ran together. Mm-hmm. But I could see that being an ender.
Like,
just to kind of demonstrate how much the Switch 2 can perform, and maybe having that clause of Switch 1 owners can still play them as long as they've got a good internet connection.
Yeah, through the streaming stuff.
Uh-huh. I could see it.
Right, but I feel like that wouldn't surprise anybody who like knows the industry, because they can look at Xbox and go, "Oh yeah, everything they're putting out is going to be on Switch too," because they're not selling a box anymore. They will still use a sticker that to cover up the Switch 2 logo that makes it say, "Hey, look, it's an Xbox. See, it has the Xbox sticker on it."
But see, that's what you're missing though. You're thinking that this is just Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
Switch 2 would be able to have the physical cart to actually play it, or be able to download it to it.
Mm-hmm.
Then doing a dual announcement like that and saying, even if you're on the Switch, you can still play it as long as you got a good enough connection, does that double enforcement there.
Yeah.
That would drive sales one last time for the base Switch and get people ready for Switch 2, because the ones that already have the Switch would be wanting to upgrade anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
A marketing way that would work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it would work as an ender, but it could.
I could see that being a halfway point to like shock people, and then you reset the shock with a few headlines, and then you hit them again with a big thing, a big first party thing. Because I'm expecting this direct to be like an hour long.
Or they let that be the ender because they're hoping that the middle will actually drum up the hype enough. Because look at how many directs we've had that have just kind of meh at the end.
Yeah. Then I get Ace Attorney music, and I'm going, new Ace Attorney? And I'm like, good lord, no, that can't end the show ever. Like, me and like 5 people will like lose our goddamn minds over that, but like everyone else in the internet would be like, really? Ace Attorney? You're ending on the lawyer man? Like, I don't care what they do with a new Ace Attorney, that is not worth an end spot.
I mean, they would be ending on the Attorney Man.
Yeah. I honestly can't. I'm honestly out of pitches at this point. Unless it's just like something like radical with an existing idea, like something way out of left field with Zelda, way out of left field with Mario.
There's not really much left for way out of left field with Zelda.
Yeah, I'm even like Mario RPG, but I'm like, no, they just put out Brothership, so they wouldn't put out a new RPG of any kind.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, Paper Mario, nope. Thousand Year Door was just recently.
Well, that was a remaster, though. So
yeah.
They could.
But even then, I'm just like, okay, a new Paper Mario, unless it's like, I don't know, unless it's like proper, like classic Paper Mario, I don't know how much people will care, because they keep deciding to do new gimmicks with Paper Mario, and I don't know how much people agree with those gimmicks. Because I felt like Origami King won people over for the most part, but I don't know how much to be like, oh, do that battle system again.
I just don't think there's much out there that they really could straight up end without it being a meh kind of deal.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like one of the Zelda remakes, honestly, the Oracle games being remade would probably be the wow factor there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, would it necessarily be the wow factor for me? No, but I mean, I know the internet would blow up over that because no one's thinking it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, honestly speaking, I have seen a little bit of Link's Awakening, and meh is how I kind of feel with it. But at the same time, I also feel that way with the Pokemon remakes that had a similar art style. So I'm like, eh. I think it's just that style is not doing it for me.
You don't like the toy box style?
Not really.
That's the best way I can describe the art style. Is it's a very toy box style.
But what's funny is Echoes of Wisdom, I'm fine with. And it's using the same art style.
Yep.
I think with those being remakes, I'm not expecting to see that style. And that's what's throwing me off. I guess whereas that one looks more, and you're right, honestly, toy box is probably the best way of describing it. Whereas Link's Awakening looks more toy-like. I guess I'm sitting there thinking of like Link Between Worlds, and I'm like, that would be what I would want to see for the style of a remake. Something that's still kind of imitates its original, but you can tell it's got some depth and has kind of went through a facelift.
Looks more like maybe the concept art for the game rather than
as opposed to trying to redefine it altogether.
Yeah. I was back to my my Game Leaks Reddit thread to be like, where's my thread with all like, where's everybody at the moment? I don't think I can find that too soon because I was like, mine that for ideas, just like what. And I'm not seeing it, so honestly, I am flat out of ideas. Because like it can't be
and see, with Prime 4 on the horizon, it can't be another 2D Metroid either.
No, because they would wait till Prime 4's out to start doing that.
Yeah, they're not going to saturate it anyhow. Even if it was ready, they'd hold it back for at least 6 months to a year.
Yeah. Like, as much as people would want a Dread 2, basically, it wouldn't be Dread 2. It would be Metroid, insert whatever subtitle they want, but mechanically, I feel like I would hope it would build off Dread.
It would, because, I mean, Dread built off of the Metroid 2 remake. So, I mean, it's one of those, it definitely would on that aspect.
What if it's just something new? Just some new IP? It'd be a lot to put on its shoulders, but
I don't think they did at the end.
Yeah.
Unless they thought it could hold the same hype that like Splatoon does. Because see, that's the other thing that's kind of ruling me out of saying this, that Splatoon 4 would be the ender. Yeah, it's probably got as much hype as Mario and Zelda, but we know there's going to be another Splatoon game.
Yeah.
That's not anything uncommon.
I feel like they would hold off on announcing Splatoon 4 until like the second direct to open with it, to be like, hey, here's our other big multiplayer game, focus game, basically.
Honestly, we've not heard about it so far. We're not seeing it this year. It'd be next year. It'd be the summer of next year. Because that's one thing they've been holding pretty true to. Splatoon's the summer game. Which is kind of bad, because if, you know, Splatoon 2 and 3 don't have proper support on the Switch 2, then that's going to be a problem for the first year of its release.
Yeah.
and probably is going to hold people back from immediately trading in and going to get the Switch 2s.
Yeah. God, if they bungle backwards compatibility, that's going to be like the biggest self-enforced error they could do. They can't bungle that.
If they do it in a slow rollout, there's a possibility that it'll get bungled a little bit. If the asterisk is simply there because certain accessories will not work with it, then that should be fine.
I think they should just come out the door and say everything first party works and has an upgrade, basically, and
that's
runs
what
better.
They should do. But
like, just draw that line in the sand.
But okay, you brought up a very valid point. They can't even say that. Labo's first party.
Yeah.
And it can't. It's physically impossible for it to be 100% compatible. Meaning they can't just come out and say everything first party will work.
Yeah. I do feel like it will be terrible for reporting, but like, just put out a list. Just say everything on this list works. And maybe denote on there what has a performance upgrade. Like Breath of the Wild has a performance upgrade. Tears of the Kingdom has a performance upgrade. Mario Kart 8 has a performance upgrade. Like everything.
What they really need to do is something like what you said, where they're like, okay, everything first party gonna be compatible. Everything first party adjacent, I would say they could probably say that too, because that would definitely include the Pokemon games then.
Yeah.
Since it's kind of in a weird shared limbo. I would say if they could do something like that and say everything except for X, Y, and Z games. Or if they could come out and say everything that doesn't need additional equipment. Because I think then that would start making people go, oh, okay, so everything first party will work on the Switch 2 except for like the Mario Kart steering wheel. Using that as an example because there again, first party. It's one of those, if they could come out and say something like that, it would probably be fine. But yeah, I have a funny feeling, especially with the asterisk out the gate, backwards compatibility is fixing to get mungled.
Yeah, like, just, if they could just come out and be like, first party is good. It's third party that we're like, we can't guarantee everything, because we've worked with a lot of third party partners to get compatibility, but some things just aren't compatible.
Well, and then you take all the indie games that are on the eShop. They can't guarantee that all of them are going to be compatible or have a performance upgrade. And I honestly think that's where that asterisk comes from. Is from all the indie games that are on the eShop.
All the shovelware.
Yeah.
All that wonderful PC shovelware.
I honestly think that. But because they won't clarify that will then start making people think, okay, well, does that mean that we're going to have to start worrying about what games we've got?
And they're not going to clarify that till April. I can almost guarantee they're not clarifying that till April. Unless they manage to pull an answer out of them at like an investor's call before then. Because the investor's call should be before April. The April Direct, right?
Could be.
Unless they pull an answer from there, then I'm not sure. Hey, Charizard, how's it going? I can't.
Yeah, that's really one of those. It's like, I would hope that that's the case, and it's just they're trying to cover themselves in case some of the indie stuff won't. for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Oh. But yeah, I just like, Nintendo, please don't fuck this up. You are in the clear because Microsoft has set themselves on fire. Sony has set themselves back several years. You literally are wide open to slam dunk this. Don't trip over yourselves. Please, for the love of God, do not trip over yourselves. But yeah, I guess any other thoughts then?
No.
All right, Xbox, speaking of them, had a developer direct where they got in deep with 4 different games, technically 5, coming to their platforms amongst others. They kind of did the kind of a reverse order on this from how it was done in the show. So, Doom the Dark Ages, Series XS, PC, Steam, PS5, the like. Showed it off. Watched the gameplay of it. It seems fine. It's about to be expected for modern Doom. They're putting a lot of emphasis on the shield that you get, and a lot of the mechanics that are built around that shield, of being like able to parry some shots, able to like toss it. Apparently it's all contextual, which makes me a little concerned. If you maybe find yourself in situations where that context gets confused. But otherwise, it's Doom. Except, of course, I found out that they screwed over the original composer real bad, and they have some new folks composing for the game, and I'm like, so the soundtrack's not going to be as good. That's what I'm hearing.
Probably.
And they also were emphasizing the story of this one, and I'm like, is that what people really wanted out of modern Doom? Is like a good story? I think that was the thing people were least worried about.
I mean,
Maybe that's just me, because I'm just, I don't know. I was just like, when they were talking about, it's like, oh, we've kept getting better, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure Doom Eternal did not go as well as Doom 2016.
Well, I mean, Doom 16 kind of brought Doom back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was that. South of Midnight, Series XS, PC, Steam, Cloud, in Game Pass. New action game from, what was the developer's name? Compulsion Games. This is I think this is their first outing. Third-person action game. This looks neat. It looks cool. I hope they do well with this. Like, honestly, this and Expedition 33, which was the RPG from Montpellier, or no, Sandfall Interactive in Montpellier, French studio. I'm like, these are the things I care about. These are also the things that are not necessarily exclusive to Xbox. I guess Expedition 33 is, because I don't see the Steam saying it's going to come out on Steam. But like, these two I care about, and I don't think I have many problems with them or concerns with them. But it's the proper first party Xbox stuff that I'm like, I don't know. Because then there's Ninja Gaiden 4, where it's like, Team Ninja is teaming up with Platinum, and I go, you know, if this was just a few years ago, that would be a cool thing to find out. Today, I'm worried, because we know there's been a mass exodus of talent and personnel from Platinum recently. And I don't know who's left there to make this work. And this also feels a little too similar to how Bayonetta 3 is, where it's like, hey, new protagonist. alongside original protagonists, and I'm like, people didn't really care for Bayonetta 3. And as much as you're trying to push this new protagonist for Ninja Gaiden 4, I don't know if it's going to work. But otherwise, it seems fine. And then they shadow dropped Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which is a new remastered version of Ninja Gaiden 2. It is available now for those interested. I don't know how it's went. I thought this was 2 and 3 for a second because I saw Ryu using a scythe and I was like, oh yeah, that's 3 because 3 introduces the scythe, but I guess that was a 2 thing. But yeah, any thoughts on any of the 4 games?
No.
Fair enough. I guess I'll give dates real quick because I did give dates. Doom Dark Ages is May 15th. Sunset and South of Midnight is April 8th. Expedition 33 is April 24th. And Ninja Gaiden 4 is fall of this year. So, hooray! Announcing things in a reasonable time period. Good. Love to see it. And that is it for news. So anything else before we hop through releases?
No.
All right, then. Releases. We'll start on the 28th with Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. Life is Strange Double Exposure for Switch. Sniper Elite Resistance for Xbox One Series X and PlayStation 5. See if I can find something in the mass that is the 30th. Honkai Star Rail Trailblaze Edition or Trailblazer Edition for PlayStation 5. That is basically here is a download code, a special download code for Star Rail to give you some extra stuff to start the game with, along with some physical goodies. Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero for PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. Yandere Anime Boyfriend and Girlfriend for the Switch. On the 31st, Resident Evil 2 coming to the PlayStation 5 and Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition for PlayStation 5. On the February 4th, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 for Series X and PlayStation 5. On the 6th, oh look, Be a Landlord for Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. I've played that. It's a little slot machine game that you use to get money to pay off your landlord. It is very good. I have it on Steam. Bear in mind, Steam does have mod support, and there's actually a decent amount of mods and stuff. There's a Mario mod to add in various Mario little things into the slot machine. Sid Meier's 7 Founders Edition for Xbox One Series X, PlayStation 5, and Switch, also for the 6th. Macross Shooting in Sight for the Switch on the 7th, and that's basically it. It is the trudges, folks. There's not a whole lot to really highlight. But yeah, I guess anything else?
No.
All right, then. Thursday, I'm continuing cat stuff. Gonna be working on the build Kemi by building the rabbit half of the rabbit tank Kemi, basically. Friday, I forgot.
I haven't fully made a decision yet.
Okay, then. Friday will be a thing.
Yep.
And then Saturday will be another thing, a different thing, or the same thing.
Or, yeah, it might be the same thing. There ain't no telling.
And then next Sunday, we continue our run-through Kamen Rider Drive by watching Surprise Future.
Yay.
I'm really excited to actually rewatch Surprise Future. I know people beat and bang up on that game.
I rewatched it once.
Hmm.
So
I know people beat and bang up on that Ghost cameo, being like, "Oh, it doesn't fit the show. Why is Ghost so much cooler in this cameo than he is in the show?" Man. I'm like, why do y'all beat and bang about this one part of the movie? But the rest of this movie is really good.
Okay, that part of it I can kind of understand.
Right.
Ghost actually is better in this show than, or in this movie than his entire show.
Yep.
As far as the continuity thing, the only thing I have to say to people that complain about the continuity is name me one piece of Ghost material that actually is in continuity with anything else that it shares.
Name me one time Ghost didn't fuck up the continuity of another show with its when it was teaming up with them.
And when you've sat there and scratched your head and then said fair enough, then look at the movie the way that you should.
I'm pretty sure every single crossover that involves Ghost, like actually Tucker showing up with Ghost, there has been some sort of timeline fuckery that had to be explained after the fact to fix it. Or just written out of continuity altogether, because like Drive Ghost is out of continuity.
Big time.
And they had to write a whole ass fucking novel to fix that movie.
And probably still couldn't fix it.
I believe Ghost X-Aid fucks up the timeline from Forza Wizard and kind of mucks with it ever so slightly, that they had to clarify, like, no. This is like 2 weeks before the future part of that movie happens. Also, don't they? I'm pretty sure they fucked with something with those in that one. Or wait, no. No, this isn't that one. It's in the next one. My bad. Right. Edgy shows up in the next one. And now I'm trying to think what Pace of Generations Forever fucks up, because I'm sure it's something.
Oh, it probably everything.
But yeah, like Ghost is allergic to continuity for some reason, which is hilarious because it's the one that doesn't take place in a parallel world that we have to then shove into the regular timeline now. Maybe.
Well, you know, maybe it's a case of Ghost messes up continuities because how much of the show was he actually alive?
How hyper compressed is that show in terms of when it actually takes place?
Yeah.
Because like it is insane to think about, like that show does actually not take place over the course of a year like most other writer shows feel like they do. It takes place over the course of, I think, like 6 months at most.
Because of dumb time constraint stuff that they had to implement for no reason.
Yes, twice for no reason. And it's like, okay, the first time, oh, this is a little story gimmick to start the show with, and it's like, nope, gotta do it again. And I'm like, why? What possessed you to put this back in? Especially when it didn't matter in the end. It didn't matter. So yeah, it's Surprise Future next week, and then in 2 weeks we'll be back with more game news. That hopefully some exciting things happened. I say and just go, please, nothing depressing that just make me sad. Please no, please God no. Anywho, if you like what you're seeing, folks, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. ! Social and chat gives you the handles for all of our social medias. ! Discord and chat is this, so I can drop by, say hi. We'll see you Thursday, folks.